Welcome back to woodcraft716.com. I'm Mike Weibel, and on this channel we try to create and inspire through woodworking. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified of all the new content we have coming out. This sure doesn't look like my shop, but it is. So let's get right into this. So I figured we'd start with the wall that nobody ever sees. So this is just my household wall. So the first thing that I notice when I come in the shop is I got this air purifier. My neighbor Dan gave it to me, and it seems to be working pretty good. Next to that is pretty much just gardening stuff, regular household storage. I've blocked the garage door. The only way in is through the man door. It's just simply for space. So from the front of the fridge to the back wall is like 16 feet, and from side to side is like 18 feet. So we're looking at like 230 something square feet on the floor. Not a very big shop, but we can make it work. And we do make it work. Basically, I need the fridge because I have like 20 chickens and 2 ducks, and they lay a lot of eggs, and I gotta store them somewhere. So basically, this end of the workshop is just some lumber storage and stuff that I really don't have room for. I do have my mechanics toolbox back there, and I hardly ever have to get into that. So then I just have some tall lumber in the corner and just some cut off pieces here. This is normally where I store my outgoing projects. So it goes from this to this real quick. So I just lost about 3 to 4 feet of my workspace. But that's okay, we make it work. So when we come in the shop, the first thing on the left is the coffee maker. Most important tool in the shop. And I have my phone charger, and I just have a pegboard wall that's got some wrenches, hammers, squares, all kinds of stuff on there that I grab all the time. In the first cupboard here, I just have my spray paints and my glass cleaner. The second cabinet just has screws and nails, all my fasteners that I tend to use all the time. And the last upper cabinet before the window is garbage bags, pencil sharpeners, empty containers that I use for storage. Then the lower portion of the bench, I got my 5 gallons of water for my coffee maker. I got my belt sander, my bench grinder, my scroll saw, my circular saw. This is where I keep most of my corded power tools that I tend to use. Underneath that, I have this roll-around assembly cart that I use all the time, which takes up even more floor space, but what are you going to do? So this thing works really good. It's got 2 drawers with 100-pound drawer slides, and I got about 10 pounds of stuff in it. So the first drawer, I just have some of my camera equipment and my lights. And in this drawer is just mostly paint. It's brushes that I get on sale and a bunch of rags, some little trays, rollers, stuff like that. And the next thing we have then is the miter saw. It's just a 10-inch cobalt that I got at Lowe's. And then I got my drawers underneath it. So here in the top drawer, I just keep my C-clamps, a couple patterns that I have, some Allen wrenches, and all my tapes, all 6 million kinds of tape. The next drawer down, I got my routers, some wrenches that go with those, my power drill, my cutoff wheel, jigsaw, and my PPE. Going down to the next drawer, I got my pneumatic nailer and stapler, my oil, anything that goes with the pneumatics, and the most commonly used hammers and mallets. And the last drawer is just sandpaper. I got my sanding sponges, my disc, palm sander, orbital sander, drywall sander, pretty much belts for the belt sander. Everything sandpaper goes in here. The first set of upper cabinets to the right of the window is just some of my paints and stains, my most commonly used ones. Some rags, rubber gloves, paste wax, all that good stuff. In the next upper here, I just have some painting supplies and all my Dremel and rotary tools. And for the last set of uppers, I just got all my empty Craig containers that I can't seem to get rid of yet, and my wood burning tools and my logo maker. Then for my slide outs, I just have my drills and charging station. Then I have some camera equipment and my tabletop fasteners, adjustable feet, and a little case that I made 20 years ago. And then the last one over here, I buy glue by the gallon, my regular glue, bench cookies, and all the Craig screws, clamps, stuff like that. And then this big bulky thing under the cupboard here, I just slide this out, and this is my planer. I can use it for a workstation or flip it over and use the planer. Just like that, planer station. In a small shop, I always try to condense things and make the best use out of what I have. Then I have a whole nother set of drawers. In the first drawer here, just like everybody's small drawer, I got all kinds of junk in there. Tape measure, knives, Q-tips for staining the pocket holes, you name it. This is pretty much a junk drawer. Then I have just some of the stuff for my business drawers and a little flute that I made on the lathe. Beautiful. Next drawer is just some paperwork and of course extra saw blades, because where else are you going to put them? I also keep all my warranties in this drawer. This drawer is just some camera equipment, microphones, stuff like that. And the bottom drawer is just some storage for the pens that I make, the pen displays, anything that has to do with my pens. And tucked under the new addition I have here is my compressor. Then on these shelves I just have some of my regular tools, my plumbing and electrical stuff, and a whole bunch of stuff that I made. This is the heater that I use for the winter. It's just a King. I got it online and it does a pretty good job, but really runs up the electric bill. And this is my 1950s Delta Milwaukee drill press. My dad got it for me at a garage sale and I've had it for almost 20 years. This thing is still working good. It's a 4-speed and it's just about everything I need for in the shop. Then I just have my Harbor Freight belt sander. I use that all the time for just about everything. Up on the top shelf here I have my Skill router and base and a couple Craftsman routers and a router table, which I hardly ever use. And I keep a couple cases of bits up there. Under the routers I'm just keeping my Rockler pen press, my Craig K4, my Craig 720, and I got this really long clamp rack. I plan on addressing that pretty soon. That's just taking up way too much wall space. Then next to the vise I got my rigid joiner. I keep that thing on wheels. That's going to be another build pretty soon. I hardly ever use it, mostly because the base it's on is so wobbly that it makes it dangerous. So that's a future build. Moving down the wall next to the joiner is my table saw. I have it on one of these Rockler stands that's made for just about anything. I love this thing, man. I'm thinking about making it for the joiner as well. You just step on the pedal, and then this thing rolls around the shop. Lower the foot pedal, and this thing is good to go. This is a Black & Decker BT 2500. It's about 20 years old. I think I bought it new in 2003, and it's still holding up, so I just keep using it. I can't see replacing it yet. I never would have thought Black & Decker would have made something that I really would use for 20 years. But it's been working good, so I'll keep using it. In the area behind the table saw is just lumber storage, overrun, needs to be cleaned up. I do keep a lot of my hardwoods. This tends to be my turning wall. I got a couple lathes over there. So this is wood blanks, bowl blanks, some of my books and magazines, and some lumber storage. That's about it. So looking at this wall, I just have my mini lathe and my other lathe that I got at Harbor Freight. They seem to be working pretty good, and I've been woodworking for over 20 years. So none of the stuff I have is expensive. I wouldn't say I have one tool that's top line. But that's okay, because we make awesome projects here. So in a nutshell, this is my shop. If you got any value out of this, and you want to see the shop progress forward, subscribe, like, and hit that bell icon so you're notified of any new content we have coming out. And we'll just see what this shop looks like next year. And remember to always create and inspire. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.